Welcome, mortal. Before Purple Kush became a name whispered across grow rooms and passed from hand to hand in glass jars, it was Bloodline. Its story begins far from California, in the hard mountain country tied to the Hindu Kush region, where old Indica stock earned its reputation in a slow way, through rough ground, cold nights, and generations of resilience. That ancient branch would one day meet another, Purple Afghani, a darker line known for deep color, dense flowers, and the kind of sticky resin that clung to your fingers like tree sap and old hash. Then Oakland stepped into the story. Somewhere in the bay, breeders crossed Hindu Kush with purple Afghani and gave rise to what would become one of the most recognized indicas in cannabis culture. It did not need neon hype or some wild myth strapped to its back. It had heritage, it had weight, and once people felt it, the name stayed with them. You can see the family tree in the flower itself. Purple Kush grows with the compact posture of a true indica, shorter, bushier, built low to the ground like it learned early not to waste motion. Its buds come thick and tight, packed together with a heavy Afghan structure, then lacquered in resin until they look almost preserved. And then comes the color. Green gives way to violet. Sometimes the buds darken into plum, and ink stain shades, as if evening itself has taken root. But color alone never built the legend. Break open a nug of Purple Kush, and the first thing that greets you is earth. Rich soil, dry wood, a faint spice. Then the sweeter side starts to speak. Berries, grapes, sometimes that thick Kush sweetness with a hashy edge behind it. It does not crash into the room with loud perfume. It settles in. It lingers, like something old and familiar waking up. That is how Purple Kush moves in general. It doesn't hit like a siren. It arrives like a curtain being drawn. For many, the first effect is a wave of euphoria, a soft lift behind the eyes, like the day loosening its grip one finger at a time. Then the body follows. The shoulders sag, the jaw unclenches, the noise in the mind begins to lose its teeth. What made Purple Kush famous was not just that it could relax you. Plenty of strains promised that. Purple Kush earned its name because the calm felt complete. It carried the kind of deep body stillness people chase after long days, aching muscles, restless thoughts, and nights that refused to end. People turned to Purple Kush when they wanted to disappear into the couch for a while, when they wanted to laugh, eat, drift, or let sleep confine them without fight. It built an image as a classic evening strain, the one you save for when the work is done, the lights are low, and there is nowhere left to be. And that same old-school identity carried into the grow room. Purple Kush was never known as the tallest plant in the garden. It did not stretch for the ceiling and demand attention that way. It stayed compact, manageable, and better suited for controlled spaces where humidity and temperature could be watched closely. Indoors, it showed off the side growers came back for. A relatively quick flowering window, dense resin-rich buds, and that unmistakable purple character that made the harvest feel like something between medicine and treasure. That doesn't mean it was loved only for looks. Purple Kush stayed relevant because it felt like the real thing, a classic indica, not just in label, but in behavior, in structure, in aroma, in the way it settled over a person and turned the pace of the room slower. Even among other purple strains and Kush descendants, Purple Kush carried itself with more gravity, less candy, less flash, more earth, more dusk, more stone. That is why the strain endured. It came from mountain ancestry, was shaped in California, and rose to worldwide fame because it delivered exactly what its name suggested: color, calm, depth, and the old Kush heaviness people never seemed to stop searching for. Some strains chase attention. Purple Kush never had to. It simply showed up, draped in violet, carrying the scent of earth and grape on its back, and let the night do the rest. Thanks for watching.